of the historical memory and cultural heritage of the descendants of enslaved Africans, the enrichment of historical and cultural knowledge exchanges with the African homeland, and the rehabilitation of intergenerational psychological trauma which affected our populations. At the 46th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the CARICOM in February this year, CARICOM heads proposed to place more emphasis on direct engagement, advocacy, and negotiations, including strengthening partnership with the African Union in treating with this matter of reparatory justice. I expect that in this matter, in which we have common cause, we will have the support of our friends and brothers on the continent in having it included in the agenda of the Commonwealth Heads of Government, the CHOGM Conference in October 2024, and other international fora to build momentum behind this very deserving matter. To share with you that shortly after my return to Trinidad and Tobago from Ghana in March 2020, we were struck by the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic that hurt us all. During that period, when there was much uncertainty on how we would cope and manage the devastation of the pandemic on our economies and societies in CARICOM, countries in the international community, many, including our traditional partners, spared no expense to hoard all of the very resources that we needed to help ourselves survive. They did not hoard it for us, but rather for themselves, for the benefit of their own populations at the expense of the people of the developing world. That pandemic showed us, if we didn't know before, who our real friends are and who our family is. And then at the height of the pandemic, Africa came to our aid with the support of His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa, President of South Africa, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, President of Ghana, and His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, then President of Kenya. I, as the then Chairman of CARICOM, was able to broker an arrangement with the African Union, member states so desiring to access the African Union's African Medical Supplies Platform, the AMSP, to secure vaccines, which allowed CARICOM countries a pathway to survival, a life and livelihood at a time when it seemed like mission impossible to access those products even on commercial terms. So you have some insight into my resolute confidence that through our sense of kinship, we can indeed take up any challenge. We will honor our past achievements and we shall chart our course to a prosperous future together. In similar fashion to the recently returned Ashanti artifacts looted from the Great Kingdom during the 19th century, and which are fully now on display in their rightful place at the Manhaya Palace Museum, the strength and spirit of the Ashanti people live in the people of Trinidad and Tobago. The exhibition of these artifacts is timely and is the name given to the exhibition, Homecoming, Adversity, and Commemoration. It could not have been described better. These artifacts include the royal stool, which belonged to the Asantehene Kofi Karikari, the 10th Asantehene, which was lost to the British in the same way that Asantehene Kofi Karikari lost his son, Prince Kofi Enti, who was eventually taken by the British to Trinidad and Tobago and exiled in 1881. Prince Kofi Enti later went on to design and build a signal station at Fort George in Trinidad in 1883 to aid shipping navigation, which Your Royal Majesty, you have the opportunity to visit that structure, which is still there. In Trinidad and Tobago, we emit, like that signal, the spirit that brings us together and points the way to a shared and prosperous future. Asante, since your ascension to the Golden Stool in 1999, you have worked for peace and stability of the Asante people, and of Ghana, and of Africa, and of your diaspora. You have been an agent for the development of your people through your work to attract investment and resources for the provision of social services and infrastructure for education, healthcare, water, and sanitation. You have provided counsel and support to the government and people of Ghana in times of crisis and urgent need. And you have refined the role and image of the modern African monarchy while emphasizing the great value of traditional norms. As we in Trinidad and Tobago celebrate with you today the silver jubilee of your accession to the Golden Stool and reign as Asante, monarch of the Ashanti Kingdom, I hold out to you the abiding admiration and best wishes of the government and people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago for your personal well-being, good health and that of your family, and the peace, progress, and prosperity of the chiefs and people of the Ashanti Kingdom and all the people of the Republic of Ghana from all the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
We thank you so much. Our special guest of honor, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Christopher Raleigh. Fei ana Otumfuo atu nana jabehine se yamama awampai ana Fei, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Akwabasro Kuhanso. Fei kumawu mahine Berma Safo Chinubu Akuduya and Afei Chibotom mahine Dana Tachi Free Ajay Boko Bearman and Afei Dasabre Kwaku Barton III, a new job in mahine. And of course, the chairman of the 25th Anniversary Planning Committee, a Mahine of Asante Jobbing Traditional Area, Nana Otumfuo.
You're still watching the live telecast of Akwasidae Kesi here at the Menchia Palace, where Otumfuo Osei Tutu the second is seated in state, observing Akwasidae Kesi receiving dignitaries from all over the world. We've just had an address from the Prime Minister of the Trinidad and Tobago, who's also brought a goodwill message to Otumfuo Osei Tutu on the anniversary of his 25th year reign. In your shot currently is Otumfuo himself, Asante Maimra. Next to him is Sikaja Kofi, also known as the Gold Stool. It is the source and authority of Asante Maimra, and so it doesn't ordinarily come out. We have some more dignitaries making their way to Otumfuo to pay homage to him. Indeed, the significance of today's celebration, among other things, is the commemoration of the anniversary of Otumfuo's reign in Seychelles Island, where he's been exiled, as well as the 150th anniversary of the Sagarenti War. And so the significance of this year is hugely important in the grand scheme of things, especially for Chief here present, very energetic, with a certain sense of joy, paying homage to Asante Maimra Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. Not too long ago, Gabemahe Nana Otumfuo addressed the gathering, being the chairman of the organizing committee, and in your shot is Nana Otumfuo making his way to take his majestic seat. We also have here with us the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, as well as the Vice President and his wife, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as well as Samira Bawumia, his wife. Also in the crowd, we have one of the people currently has a stage, and will get or will take a certain word from Doctor. Doctor, can you tell us exactly what this performance is?
There are so many words for us, and there are about 7-8 of them. If you listen to them carefully, it will tell the story of the Ashanti Kingdom. And the praises for each king. Talking about past history. Osei Tutu, you have done that. Osei Tutu, you have done that. Telling about the number of wars and then the number of people he's been able to conquer. So, Jabi finished, and he must go back to his seat or tell Ohene that he has finished. Wonderful. Wonderful. So the president
now have the president on the stage. Let's take a listen to the president's address.
Cemento Otumfuo and Nanum Doma Babishia Messia Sevier Yabaya Yabanani Jemu. Sir, if you do no more, anywhere of Fu Sikadra, and you my papa, Wabaya Ama Asante Mai, Wabayama Ghana, say Yababi do dance and there. Now to say, Jabi Mahe, chairman of the Silver Jubilee Planning Committee, I know so yeah, what they took before Penny Ekayano.
And now I'm paying you for a free horror about this year. And say, say, never fatter. Say, you jamu kakra or poto mi kwaya. Sa and I'm the bekoso. Second lady, the Prime Minister of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, and Mrs. Rowley, the former First Lady, Ashanti Regional Minister, the Chairperson and members of the Council of State, Deputy Ministers, Metropolitan Chief Executive for Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, and other Metropolitan Municipal and District Executives, members of the Diplomatic Corps, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. Auspicious occasion provides us with an opportunity to reflect on the extraordinary leadership and enduring legacy of Otumfuo, and to do so on the great customary day, the Adakese of the Asante people, the greatest royal lineage in our country, the Osei dynasty, the member of his governing Oyoko clan, Berima Kwakudua, as he was originally known, has been a very good friend of mine for some 4.5 decades. In fact, in times gone by in our other lives, I was his lawyer. 25 years ago, on 29th April 1999, he became the 16th occupant of the Golden Stool, taking up the name of the 17th century founder of Asante Mine and first Asantehene of Otumfuo Osei Tutu, the legend to be called Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, following in the line of the great Asante chiefs and respecting the time-honored traditions of governance and statecraft bestowed on them. It has been an amazing journey for him so far, with his imprints stamped firmly on many aspects of the life of Asante Mine, and indeed of our nation, the results of which are evident for all of us to lead. I extend warm-hearted congratulations on behalf of the government and people of Ghana to Otumfuo Osei Tutu Abebio, or Yoko PSA, on the occasion of the 25th anniversary of his ascension onto the great golden stool of Asante, Sikajwa. And I'm delighted that I'm in a position to be here to commemorate this momentous occasion, which we are marking with his beautiful wife, Lady Julia, the elegant woman from Adadiantem in Ochimai, from where all good things come. I was present at Kumasi Sports Stadium on that day, when with a state sword in his hand and his kuntunkuni cloth wrapped around his waist, Berima Kwakudua swore to uphold the traditions and paths charted by his 15 predecessors, and to continue to make Asante Mine a more traditional state in our country. By all accounts, he has lived and continues to live up to this noble undertaking. For a quarter of a century, Otumfuo Osei Tutu II has served as a symbol of unity, progress, and tradition for the Asante Kingdom, and indeed for the entire nation of Ghana. Otumfuo's commitment to the welfare of his people coupled with his strong leadership, has earned him the respect and admiration of all. Under his reign, his dedication to improving the lives of his subjects and preserving the rich cultural heritage of Asante has been truly commendable, helping to ensure access to education for thousands and thousands of young Ghanaian children through the Otumfuo Education Fund, joining the fight against the spread of HIV and AIDS, re-energizing and modernizing the institution of chieftaincy, and putting an end to unnecessary chieftaincy disputes within Asante-Man are but a few of his many achievements and successes as Asante-Hene. But perhaps what sets Otumfuo Tutu II apart is his tireless advocacy for peace, reconciliation, and national cohesion. In a world fraught with division and discord, Otumfuo has been a steadfast voice for unity and understanding, both within Asante-Man and beyond. His efforts to promote dialogue and bridge divides have earned him widespread acclaim and admiration, making him a revered figure not only in Ghana, but also across the globe. He has continued with great fervor the praiseworthy tradition of Kumasi, the long-established 17th century capital of the Great Ashanti Kingdom, being the epicenter of multi-ethnicity and multiculturalism, where Anglong, Ga, Fantinuta, Zongo, and many other non-Ashanti communities live in harmony and peaceful coexistence with the indigenous Ashanti majority. In the same vein, Otumfuo has managed to work successfully and enjoyed excellent relations with all 5 presidents of the Fourth Republic. That is the first president, Eve, Jerry John Rawlins, his kinsman and fellow Ashanti, the second president, John Ajekum Kufuor, the third president, the Fante, John Evans Atta Mills, the fourth president, the Gonja, John Dramani Mahama, and myself, the fifth president, the Achem and fellow Oyoko clansmen. These relations have always had as their goal the advancement of national unity and progress. By the way, it appears that presidents come and go, but Otumfuo carries on. It is these attributes that have attracted eminent national leaders from diverse parts of the global African family, such as the Prime Minister of the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, His Excellency Right Honorable Keith Rowley, Member of Parliament, and his wife, Mrs. Sharon Clark Riley, to join us at this ceremony. I say a big akwaba, a word of welcome to them and to their entourage, and to all other foreign dignitaries, and wish them a happy stay in our hospitable nation. I know they are enjoying this memorable celebration. I want to use this platform, Otumfuo, on behalf of the government and all the people of Ghana, to thank Prime Minister Rowley, the government and people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago for the exceptional welcome and hospitality they bestowed on you during your visit last year to Trinidad to be guest of honor at Trinidad's Emancipation Day, which they have now named African Emancipation Day. I've had the privilege of being presented by the Prime Minister with a record, a pictorial record of that visit, which has been named A King's Voyage, and it is a compelling and beautiful record. Not only do we thank him for that, we also thank him for his presence here this weekend with his wife and delegation to join us to commission Prempeh I International Airport, Kumasi, to participate in the grand dinner offered by Otumfuo last night at Menchia, and to be here at the great customary occasion, the Adai Kesi. But above all, we want to express our appreciation for the outstanding leadership Prime Minister Rowley is providing in our common endeavor of building a strong bridge across the Atlantic to bring the African peoples on both sides of the ocean together to strengthen our prospects of constructing a more prosperous and more united future for our mutual benefit. This is work that our forefathers began, and the African people should be reassured that in Prime Minister Rowley, they have found someone who is prepared to champion and advance that work. As we commemorate this significant milestone, let us draw inspiration from Otumfuo's exemplary leadership and continue to work together towards a brighter, more prosperous, and more united future for all Ghanaians. That prominent Ghanaian nationalist, politician, and statesman, my maternal uncle, William Oforiatta, the celebrated Pawuli, once said, and I quote, "As we honor the institution of chieftaincy, let us remember that its true power lies not in authority or title, but in service, humility, and devotion to the well-being of our communities," unquote. I dare say the reign of Otumfuo Tutu II thus far has been in full consonance with these words. On behalf of the government and people of Ghana, I extend once again my warmest congratulations to Otumfuo Tutu II on this historic occasion. May he continue to be blessed with wisdom, strength, and prosperity. And may Asante Mine continue to flourish under his wise and benevolent rule. May God bless Otumfuo Tutu II, Asante Hine, Asante Mine, and us all. And may God bless our homeland Ghana and make it great and strong. I thank you all for your attention. Namase papa, unyakobo nshiramu nya, bako. Namase.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Bafo Otumfuo Chame, Bafo Mesum Ewo, because it's about time that we listen to the wisdom of the celebrants, the system occupants of the golden stool, His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. Bafo Manuato Musumo Emae.
Clearly, you can also see from the movement of the media men that it's about that time, and so all our cameras now turning towards Otumfuo Osei to the second to receive his address. You're watching live feed from the Menchia Palace, where today Asante Mera observes Akwasidae Kese, and he's received dignitaries from nearly every part of the world of our President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and we prepare to receive that of Otumfuo Osei to the second. Remember, the place of this Akwasidae Kese is hugely significant in that it brings together a lot of historical events and moments and dates in history. It clearly has been a joyous one which has in attendance the authority and power of Asante Mai in the embodiment of Sikejwa Kofi, also known as the gold stool. We've had many dignitaries come to grace the occasion with their presence and their honor, and we're receiving or we're taking appellations preceding Otumfuo's address. You're listening to appellations from members of the Doctor, let me bring you on here. What we're listening to, is that what is to invite Otumfuo?
Yes.
And could we tell what the content will be?
It's difficult to, but it's also part of, they are also the praise singers. And the words they use are not clear to a typical account speaker.
Okay.
It's a quadrum. It's like Sons of Praise.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we also have.
Right. Nana has the stage.
And then so said Miniak trade Jabin Hene or Mampanye Kayano. Menso, I will have a free monty. Messa Namensuma Potoka cra. Na yet 2 years after almost what today a Pesiaka. Your Excellency the President and my brother, I thank you for your kind words this afternoon. I started this journey with you 25 years ago. Before that, you were my lawyer also. And 25 years ago, you were with us here at the stadium. And therefore, you've been part of this journey. And therefore, listening to you, it was more like writing a testimonial for me. And I thank you very much for that. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I extend traditional blessings to you all, sons and daughters of the Golden Stool, in every corner of Asante Mai. I extend the felicitations and blessings of the Golden Stool to all of Ghana, and I extend the same blessings to all the seeds of African heritage now flowering around the world through the circumstances of history. And finally, I extend to the world the blessings of peace and friendship. 25 years ago, we were called upon to assume the mantle of leadership of our people. It was a call of destiny with the most profound ramifications for us and our nation. Asantehene had surrendered its might as a warrior nation and was struggling to find its role within a complex new environment. The political dynamics of the time required sagacity as much as courage. Fortunately, neither virtue had been absent from the history of the Asante nation.
So,
I swore on that fateful day to lead my people with the courage and the wisdom with which Osei Tutu built the Asante nation.
so,
The courage and daring with which Opukwari first and others after him expanded the nation into the empire it became, and the dignity and tact with which Prempeh I and Prempeh II managed its integration into the Gold Coast. I wasn't unaware of the fact that there was no Otumfuo Anoche to guide us with its unusual powers, nor that the terrain in our time could not be more complex and challenging. Yet, I drew the Mpomponsio sword in full confidence that as long as we maintained fidelity with the golden stool and remain faithful to the truth, we shall not, as the hymnal says, in the desert stray nor miss our providential way. Today, with the golden stool by our side, with all the weight of history upon our shoulders, we cry out with a mix of humility, pride. Thanks be to God, we have faced our destiny and we have not faltered nor fainted. We've been true to our oath and we have done honor to those whose duty it was to shepherd us into office 25 years ago. Please join me in tribute to my dear mother, our very dear mother, who not only brought us into the world, but gave us the opportunity to serve our people and the world. And I pay tribute to her brothers, Ohineba Mensa Bonsu, Nyahine, and Bema Kofi Kakari. I am what I am because of the tutelage of Ohineba Mensa Bonsu, and all may have been lost if the Asantehene had not had the dogged support of the Abusuapanyi Kofi Kakari. They may no longer be with us, but I'm sure that in the eternal village where they now reside, they are filled with pride that the fruit of their labor continue. Since we embarked upon our journey, we have had the privilege of serving with 5 presidents of our republic. Significantly, I have worked with presidents from both of the main political parties of our time. And it is a great honor to invite you to join me again in paying tribute to all the presidents of our 4th Republic. We are alive to the constraints of our office and do not allow themselves to stray into the choices which only the sovereign people must make for themselves, or indeed to pass judgments for the people. Our duty is to throw our weight behind the choices of the people freely made, to counsel and even admonish as circumstances demand. Within the bounds of propriety, we are obliged to speak the truth to power. I am proud to say that without exception, all of presidents have found space for meaningful collaboration as they sought to deliver on the agenda for the people. Each one is elected on a different platform, and each comes with his own style. They may not all succeed with everything they seek to do, but I hope the people appreciate that they are all true patriots who try to do the best they can for their nation. We pay tribute to Nananum, from the overlords of the North to Nananum paramount chiefs from all sections of our nation. In your magnificent smocks and elegant kente cloths, in the dazzling adornments of gold and silver, you present the true tapestry of a culture that can never diminish. It is the harmony in diversity which we all seek. Our journey would have been of little consequence without the bonds of friendship and brotherhood we have experienced from Nananum, Name, Nime, Tobe. I am grateful for the fruitful exchange of visits, for our shared experiences. We also pay tribute to corporate Ghana for a welcome partnership in the quest for development of our nation. Although we hold our governments accountable for development of our nation, in reality, it is corporate Ghana we can look for real development. Your success is what will create the jobs our people need and generate the wealth we need. That is why we will always prioritize support for your endeavors to overcome obstacles in your path and create an environment conducive to your success. I cannot fail to pay tribute to the noble men and women who sustain the rule of law in our land and help protect our security. Nor can I forget the teachers who drive our education, the doctors who guard our health and physical well-being, and the religious leaders who sustain our moral and spiritual well-being, nor our farmers who give us food to eat. It is with pride and joy that we welcome today a truly amazing team of distinguished guests from our sister states. We welcome my dear brother, the Bafokeng from South Africa, and I also welcome the Speaker of the House of Parliament from Niger, and the Foreign Minister of Morocco and his delegation, Foreign Minister of Cote d'Ivoire and his delegation, and the Niger delegation, and the Federal Minister of Finance of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the representative of my brother, the Kabaka of Buganda, along with the ambassadors of the United States, the United Kingdom, and all the diplomatic members who were here. Above all, we welcome our special guest of honor, my dear brother, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Right Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley, and his dear wife. This is the second time we have received our brother here at Manshia, and it follows our own highly significant visit to his country as guests of the Emancipation Day celebration last year. What does this say about relations between our two countries? The Right Honorable Rowley comes not as the Prime Minister of one brother country. He is here as the symbol of a new Africa, an Africa beyond one continent. For years we've been weighed down by the trauma of history. Today we have the opportunity to build a tri-continental community of Africans committed to rise like a phoenix from the ashes of history. From Suriname to Barbados, from Brazil to Jamaica, from Cuba to the Dominican Republic, indeed, from the United States of America and every part of Europe where the seeds of African heritage have survived. Let the challenge go for all of us in our potential. We have demonstrated that it is possible to upload the burdens of history and find power in the value of reconciliation. You see this also in South Africa. Contrast aid upon humanity in the Middle East because of the unwillingness to unburden ourselves of the past. So as we commence another phase in our journey of destiny, we reaffirm our commitment to peace and the pursuit of development. Education remains our priority, but probably an even higher priority must be the reclamation of our environment from the ravages of Galamsey. We cannot be the generation that destroyed the most precious heritage bequeathed to us by our forefathers to satisfy the greed of a few miscreants. For whatever it takes, we must defeat this scourge. The greatest challenge of our nation, faces is to redouble our efforts to grow our economy. Governments may come and go, but the nation remains, and democratic nations must look to their entrepreneurs for development. That is why we will continue to encourage our entrepreneurs to show their readiness to place their money where their mouth is and invest more in the country of their birth. This year is another election year. Our political leaders are already on the campaign trail, and there's yet many months of intense and combative campaigning ahead. After all our past experiences, I remain sanguine that our democracy is safe. Nonetheless, we need to remind ourselves that we cannot take things for granted, and we must be alert to avoid anything that has the potential to derail the electoral process. People need the right environment in which they can make informed choices in the interest of the nation. May we forever drink from the fountain of peace, and may our efforts in the years ahead be crowned with the grace of the living God and the prosperity that flows from our tireless effort. Long may Asanteman and Ghanaman rise in glory. I thank you all. Thank you.
Yes, and by that he was referring to Galamsey. Was it something you expected that he would mention in his Akwasidae?
We have something in place. In fact, in the next few months, we are going to announce a very massive program on Galamsey comparison. We are looking at alternatives. We can't just say stop and propose library, and that's what we are looking at. Is there anything we can do when we game week and every day? Can you get them something to do to get them money every week? And that's what we are looking at. For example, if they are to plant the jute, I mean the lands, when you claim them, you can't use them to produce food. It's not acceptable.
Yes.
And you must get a cash crop. And that cash crop shouldn't be cocoa or something they have to wait for a year. They are going to even use the same land for the guarantee. So give them something which when they plant, within 3 months or 4 months, they can get something. In that case, they are waiting to put something there. They won't destroy the land.
Sure.
So that is what you should be looking at. Not to say that stop. And then you come
stop without providing alternatives.
Yes, we don't have it.
Wonderful.
So we are going to get the attention. This is what in the next few months we'll be talking about
Adams family. I saw mentioning of Galamsey and the efforts thereafter was one that brought such our politicians. Take us for a walk in the park, as has usually been their mantra or their modus operandi, by paying lip services to what destroys the life, the very life we live.
If the gatekeepers themselves are part of the problem, how do they finance their campaigns as individuals? How do you expect somebody who was just a civil servant and then now into politics?
So if you don't have to do that, you move at the cashier. Kaka, ya de call every year. Say, as Antibara, I'm on the Musu. I said, a doctor, H. Obeko na wakochi ya amahini no nyina ansana wo fi dwabre mu ha sei akọ na ebese bebisa dokota mashoma menya hu na pakan no de etimi sorti apakan ma na se onante me hu
sabe o si ye no ye huru se wafro apakan no na no ofro apakan no ofro wa anim enti se ye hu apakan yi de na se ni nipadom esi wa ha no me gidi se ahwe obefra
apakan esa ne nante ne be din
anya sa ebe ye din edutwa na mu no be dozo pa
Resa de ensasiko wiem na ase ebinu mo tonyom
ai
ena so mo se me nkrofo amba ha
ena ye tonyom
ena ye me nkrofo na eto
omu na epeje omu nsa ha
I can pay piano ka be my phone
ena bre my phone na
bre my phone ama isa se na ye ni jida
ena foforo na ba bre my phone de omu babra ya ko yie ananse ye ni abre
ya se abo bre ma so na tese ye ni bresem
ene bresem
eti aba me kwan so je se wa chi aman ni na awi ansa na wakọ
se bre omu a eso chi a omu nyina ne nti no mu bae enti ese ohunu omu nyina ansa na wakọ
eti doctor eche na ye de dwumadie ni nyina kọ awiye won sema etwa to
ansa ni afra pakan e se dom na wa ha no
na nte ne be ye
na afra no na e wo wa no no enti apakan no de ne beko na nanom no nyina nim na se du ho a na nanom no bebe anim na omo abeche omo se na yese omo bebe ho kura de ne sa to no ye mo obeye yewra obeye
eti won sama be ka che omanfo sai na dwumadie nyina esi akwama ende
dwumadie no aye kama pa adokwa ya hihye se be dwumadie no wa na nhia ha no na de be trim se edom no be kum ye
e kwa mbisa wo
enti e de nhihya a na mu ontin ena to akwa mu eno nti ma ne ko ba se ebinum wo hokra enya kwan ankochia enya kwan amen mu sa ena ekosi ye de sa na esese ba na nanom kra enya kwan ankochia no se ne amamre kwan so nka ne bantu mahene e ba ba chia no ne amamre abeba mu etutu a ebeto dodo no antimi ama ebise na eda so nko a wa adwuma no akoyie pepepepepepe ye de twodi ampɔnkɔ ame ase se ne wa bia suraman ye ensuo no de ehia na mmomi wa ya wie de so oba de tonso no na ewie mu tu kakra man ye ne mfudie nso koso de twodi ampɔnkɔ ame aseda na ye de mawo na fe yada nananu nyina amahene ni nyina na omubama fe papa bi fura chire omo yare kura bo modern so beba omo wantimi ama no asusu di ase na mobile afe yade aseda be mo mampani ene na bedi achire ni Trinidad Tobago mampani obe wo yen ene abemufo a ene ombe wo yen ene amanlofo a omujade omu ye ne e kamia esa manfo ni nyina atu anamon ba ha yade omu nyina ase afe yade aseda kese ema nananum a wokumase enso yada ho ase ewo enadodo a omude hwe ma adwumadi e koso yade dwabe hene na pamfo ase yada abambofo a ene omu baaye beboa ye ma ye ba bibiansi yante baako bi na je omu na hwe ni subire beba ni pe ha no so edoso afa kumasefo ene oman ma asantefo ene ona anya asantefo ene Ghana fo nyina mo amohwe betinya kwan ba ha mo amohwe GBC kasafidie so no ede mu nyina se ede won hyehyɛ dwumadie afa ensamtwerafo a modi asɛm no kɔma ene mo aya de papa GBC aseda eye modia radio stations aka ewo ha ne TV station nyina ene de ya mam bibia mo maka ho asɛm na mo kana na mo ton ye nso so aseda na ye de mamo ade achia na opumso Osei Tutu otoso mienu asantehene na de aseda ene na asantehema ene nananom kumasefo ne asantema nyina ene de aseda mamo ye da mase
Dr. Jodas teacher Sima ebra na so
yo we so de eni gisam ene na ye hunu skedwa no a epie ye no ma kire se Otumfuo oye muruku a okata twene so na amanfo a abaha omoko omode osemode ena eko eda obiase se de doc edi ka kan aseda kase pa na ede ma obibia na mote se ye bodwa wo ba bia hona ye kan mpanisem de hona obesua mpanisem no atwa be ho edamos
ahefo yesu ya damu nyina se mo ne yatene fra no pamu abesi sabre ya ede ade kasie yi ebudu badie nyina eko ewiye me dane afide na mamunya be mala na afi obiama.
Thank you very much, Teacher Safo Kantanka. Thank you very much, Dr. Thomas Ejaku Puku. And a mighty thank you to my sister Abena Denta. This is Darrell Allen Tego, your servant. You've been with us since the morning when this Akwasidae, very significant in things of a Santemai, in that this Akwasidae is extraordinarily big. It is also marks the 25th anniversary of Otumfuo ascending to the throne of a Santemai, as well as that it also marks his 74th